Do you ever look around your home and secretly think, this is quite ugly? Or maybe you've been to a friend's house and something somehow felt wrong, even though you couldn't explain why. It's not the furniture, it's not the size, it's probably something else. Something hard to see, but impossible to ignore. In today's video, and yes, it's another listicle video, I'm going to show you 10 common mistakes that secretly makes everyone's homes a bit more ugly. And obviously, as always, what to do instead. These are the kind of simple changes that takes rooms from, something's off, to wow, that's amazing. And I promise you'll spot at least a few of them in your own home. Unless, of course, you live in a dream house, which could be the case. And in that instance, my job as an architect wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Only joking. Let's go. Hello everyone, if you're new here, I'm Lorenzo, your Italian architect based in London and founder of Sentioni Architects. I started this channel a few months ago to share with everyone the small, powerful design moves that anyone can use, whether you live in a tiny apartment, a suburban villa, or anything in between. If you want your home to feel not just beautiful, but deeply yours, then you are in the right place. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in. Number 1. Shadows define space. Most people think design is about light. Of course it is, don't get me wrong, but it's equally about shadows. A room that's evenly lit from every angle might seem practical, but it kills the atmosphere. Everything feels flat and depthless. Architects play with shadows because it gives objects weight and creates rhythm in a space. You can try this at home. Let one lamp graze a wall so the texture pops. Or place a light behind the plant so its silhouette comes alive. Suddenly, your room doesn't just look brighter, it looks sculpted, layered, and almost theatrical. It's not about how much light you have, but where you allow darkness to fall. That's when a room begins to feel alive. Number 2. Skirting sets the foundation. Skirting boards are one of those details that quietly control how finished a room feels. In tall rooms, a taller skirting grounds the walls and gives them gravitas. In smaller rooms, a slimmer profile keeps things elegant without feeling heavy. Even just repainting old chipped skirting in a crisp contrast, say white against a colored wall, or the same tone as the wall for a more seamless look, can completely refresh the perimeter of a room. Think of skirting as the frame for your space. You may not notice it immediately, but when it's wrong, the whole composition feels off. Number 3. Sound is part of design. Most people think interiors are purely visual, but actually they're also acoustic. A room's sound has just as much impact on how we experience it as its colors or furniture. Bare walls, hard floors, and minimal furniture create echo and reverb, which makes a space feel cold, hollow, and temporary, almost like you've just moved in. Cozy rooms nearly always include elements that soften sound. Rugs that absorb footsteps, curtains that catch echoes, cushions and upholstery that dampen sharpness, and even bookshelves that break up sound waves. These aren't just visual details. They make the space literally quieter and more intimate. We architects are really obsessed about this because when a room sounds calm, it feels calmer. Number 4. The forgotten surface. If you are obsessed about the color of your walls or your floors, you might forget a very tiny detail, which is actually the largest canvas in your house: the ceiling. An unloved ceiling left in dull white paint with no thought can make even a well-furnished room feel a bit flat and lifeless. But the ceiling is quite powerful. It actually shapes the whole atmosphere of your room. Painting it a slightly darker tone can make a room feel more intimate, like a warm cocoon. Using the same color as the walls creates obviously a seamless envelope, which makes small rooms feel calmer and larger. Even adding a subtle texture of wood detail overhead completely changes how grounded the space feels. We architects refer to the ceiling as the fifth wall. Treat it with as much care as the rest, and suddenly your room will look designed, not just decorated. Number 5. When white walls aren't white anymore. One of the clearest giveaways of an ugly interior is the color of the walls. Not anymore that bright, crisp white, but that tide off-white that looks somewhere between beige and grey, sometimes even yellowish. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It happens slowly. Dust, sunlight, and time shift what was once a clean wall into something dull and lifeless. And because it's gradual, people don't often realize it until the room feels a bit sad. A lick of fresh paint in a true white or a deliberate soft tone can reset the entire atmosphere. Suddenly, the space feels clean, intentional, and alive again. Think of walls like teeth. They need regular care. When they're bright, the whole smile, or in this instance, the whole room, looks healthier. Number 6. The forgotten details. Some of the quickest ways to outdate a home are these small details. Plastic light switches that yellow with age, hollow tiny door handles, shiny chrome cabinet knobs from the 90s. They quietly whisper cheap rental every time you touch them. These details are the things that your hands interact with every single day, yet they're often overlooked. Upgrading them doesn't require any construction efforts, just a screwdriver and a bit of taste. Swap a plastic switch for a flat matte plate. Replace wobbly handles with solid brass or black steel. Choose knobs with weight and texture. Suddenly, your home will look much more considered. It's like wearing a good watch or polished shoes. It elevates the impression of the whole space. Number 7. Order and calm in technology. Let's be honest, cables are the modern clutter. No matter how stylish your room is, but a jungle of cables intertwined with each other will eventually drag the whole room down. If you've got cables going everywhere in your house, the fix is quite simple. Tie them up, use baskets, or root them behind furniture. Find a solution, please, because they actually accumulate a lot of dust and they do look really ugly. Remember that the goal isn't just tidiness, it's that sensation of feeling calm. A room without the cable chaos lets the eye rest. Number 8. Real plants, not plastic props. Nothing kills the life of a room faster than fake plants. Jesus, look at this. It's terrible, even the sound that it makes. Ugh. Dusty plastic leaves don't fool anyone. They make a home feel staged, artificial, and in my opinion, ugly. Even one single real plant, you choose it, they're all beautiful, will do more for a room than a whole forest of fakes. They breathe, they glow, they shift with the light. What do you want more? They remind you that the space is alive. So please, buy real plants, not plastic ones, please. If you absolutely can't keep real plants, fine. Choose one very high quality fake plant as a sort of sculptural piece if you have to. Don't buy the cheap supermarket ones. They don't add any nature to your home. If anything, they highlight the lack of it. Number 9. Doorways decide the flow. One of the most overlooked design killers is how furniture blocks movement. We get so focused on filling a room with furniture that most of the time we forget how people move through it. If a chair juts into the path from the door, or you have to zigzag around the table to reach the sofa, the room will always feel awkward, no matter how beautiful the furniture is. Architects, or probably should say urban designer, think in terms of a thing called desire lines. A desire line is the natural path that people take across space. A good layout clears and frames those paths, almost like invisible corridors, so movement feels effortless. When circulation is smooth, even a small house feels quite generous. When it's blocked, obviously even a large one feels cramped. Number 10. When woods collide. Color isn't just about paint, it's also about wood. And remember, nothing makes a room more chaotic than a bad mixture of different wood colors. A reddish oak floor, a yellow pine table, an orange stone cabinet, a grey veneer shelf. Each might be fine on its own, but together they fight for attention. The result is visual noise, and the whole room feels accidental. The trick is consistency or deliberate contrast. Stick to woods in the same family of tones, all warm or all cool, so they harmonize. Or choose one dominant wood and let the others play supporting roles, let's say, perhaps in darker or lighter shades for balance. My favorite wood color is oak, but I also like walnut. One that I don't really like at all is pine wood. Maybe because of the grain and maybe because it's a bit too light somehow, but that's obviously it's personal preference. And by the way, I'm talking about real solid wood or solid timber. I'm not talking about, that sort of fake wood with veneer on top, like you could buy from IKEA. Remember that texture matters too. A glossy finish next to a rustic raw plank feels off unless it's intentional. When all the wood's colors are considered, the room feels unified, calm and designed. Not like a furniture showroom mashup. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that my message came across very clear that ugly interiors aren't about money. They're about neglected details. Lighting, scale, sound, background details, they all matter. Fix just a few of these and immediately your home will feel more intentional and beautiful. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which one of these fixes is your favorite one? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I post every Sunday at 5 PM GMT and sometimes midweek too. And if you want to work with me directly on your home, you can reach out. I'll leave all the links in the description below. Until the next one, ciao!